exciting time for me. My hot pepper container garden is planted and ready to grow.
Oh, I love that. Chief Meteorologist George Lessons out on the weather deck. So what do you think, George? Are the peppers going to grow?
You're going to have to water the heck out of them,
Okay.
Juliet, you know. Well, but the dry weather makes them hotter, doesn't it?
It does, and then they like the sunshine a lot. So.
Yeah, well, you're in good luck. We got a lot of that coming our way. Although, guys, midweek we are going to see a little bit of a cool down. Here in just a moment, we'll explain that. 13 weather ball tonight is red. Tomorrow we'll make it into the 80s ahead, and this view sponsored by Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale. As we predicted, the haze came back on Sunday, and it's been fairly thick here throughout the day today. That's going to clear on out by Tuesday or Wednesday as a backdoor cold front comes on through. We'll explain that in a minute. Temperatures today stayed in the 60s and 70s. Warmest 79 Kalamazoo in our area, 68 the coolest up in Ludington. A lot of hazy sunshine. Lakeshore, you're a little warmer compared to yesterday at this time, and most other areas about the same when we made it into the mid 70s. A lot of haze over the area. The darker the color, as you can see, the more haze that is in the air. That's all from wildfire smoke continuing up here in Manitoba and Alberta province, and it's all been drifting down in our direction. Now, we're going to have a cool front come in from the northeast, and that will be later on this week. So that's going to bring kind of sweep out some of that haze. Now, this is tomorrow. Still a lot of that in the air, but you see that cold front right in through here. This is Wednesday afternoon. That sweeps it all out of the region for several days. That cold front's going to come through dry. Not going to see any precipitation. This is all the way through Sunday. We stay haze free for the most part until maybe Sunday or Monday, and that haze will be back with us for a little while next week. All the way around, though, with that cool front coming in from the northeast, we're going to cool down for Wednesday and Thursday. The long-range outlook, though, from May 28th through June 1st. This is at the end of our 10-day forecast you'll see in a minute. High chances we will stay warmer than average. Our average highs are in the mid-70s, and we'll continue with that high chance for less precipitation during that same 5-day period. We usually get about 2/3 of an inch of rain. Now, everybody is thinking about going to the lake. Water temperatures at present are in the 40s on the beaches. They've warmed up into the 50s out at mid-lake. We'll see those northeast winds keep them in the 40s. And if you're headed out to the lake tonight, you're looking for calm winds with that wind out of the south-southeast about 5 to 10 knots. Forecast then for tonight, clear skies, haze in the air, low and mid-50s. Winds will be nearly calm this evening. Northern part of our viewing area, low 50s. Hazy, clear skies from Grand Rapids southward will be in the mid-50s under clear skies. 13 on your side forecast. Haze through Wednesday morning. Look at that drop from 81 tomorrow, mid-60s on Wednesday and Thursday. Warming back into the 70s starting Friday. By the end of the weekend, we'll be back into the 80s. And in fact, later on next week, first day of June, we could be in the upper 80s. Great weekend here in West Michigan. Lots of sunshine, although we saw the return to the wildfire haze on Sunday, and that continues at least for a couple more days. What's ahead for your holiday weekend? That's coming up in a moment. How about Tuesday first? 13 weather ball is red. A little bit warmer weather ahead. We'll get into the 80s tomorrow. And this view sponsored by Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale. Still that wildfire haze in the air, but for Alice, you have no worries. Jan, Pat, give you a green paw for your evening walk. It's going to be a little warm this evening. Upper 70s dropping into the 60s, and a nice, mild, comfortable start to the day. Mid and upper 50s for Alice. About as much sunshine tomorrow despite all the haze in the air. We can generate green electricity from the sun, 8.7 out of a 10-point scale. Winds are still going to be fairly light. They'll be out of the south, only 2.0 out of a 10-point scale. Again, a lot of haze in the air, heaviest up toward the Big Rapids area right now. This haze is going to stick around for at least another 48 hours, all coming from wildfires way up in Canada. As we move through the next several days, you can see the haze is fairly thick again. This is through 7 o'clock on Tuesday. And then a backdoor cold front. You can kind of see it right in through here, coming down in this direction. This is haze in the morning on Wednesday, and then it clears on out for much of the rest of the week. It won't return until perhaps on Saturday, a little bit more on Sunday. Not quite as thick as it has been. and that will continue to at least Monday of next week, and that's after the holiday weekend. Temperatures are going to warm up into the 80s just about everywhere tomorrow after being stuck in the 70s today. We'll have a south wind, but as that backdoor cold front comes through on Wednesday morning, you can see how cool we drop down into the 60s here in Grand Rapids, 50s downwind of Lake Huron and Lake Michigan with that northeast wind, and we'll stay in the 60s on Thursday, but we're going to start to warm things up again starting Friday. Long range outlook. This takes us from the end of May through early June, June 5. Continuation of our warmer than average temperatures. Average highs are in the mid 70s, and again, we're going to stay dry also during that 1 week period. We get about 9/10 of an inch of rain on average, but right now I don't see many chances of rain all the way through at least June 3rd. Hazy skies tonight, clear skies otherwise. Low 50s from Hart and Ludington north. Winds will be calm this evening, and mid 50s from Holland and Muskegon southward. Northern part of our viewing area will still see a lot of that haze in the air with just after a new moon, however. Very dark night, low and mid 50s, and from Grand Rapids southward we'll be in the mid 50s under clear skies with a very light south wind. 13 on your side forecast. Haze through Wednesday morning as we drop from 81 Tuesday into the mid 60s. You can see on that 10-day forecast, very little chance of any kind of rain. We'll warm up into the mid 70s Friday. Haze returns on Saturday under mostly cloudy skies, but nothing but sunshine as we kick off the unofficial start to summer. Over the weekend, we'll be in the mid and possibly even upper 80s by next to Thursday. We'll start to lose some of that haze after about Tuesday of next week. So just looking great summer forecast.
It really does. And anyone who's on vacation next week picked the perfect week for it, too.
Could I have still time to
Are you?
schedule it? No, I'm not.
Thank you, George.
It was a great weekend here in West Michigan. Haze has returned, however. Is that going to stick around, and will our warm temperatures stick around? 13 weather ball is red. At least Tuesday we have warmer weather ahead. And there's a cool down after that. And this view sponsored by Countryside Greenhouse of Allendale. Temperatures in the 70s today, 73 up north. Did make 80 in Kalamazoo and Three Rivers. We stopped at 77. We did forecast 80 just within 3 degrees of our target. We've done that 10 days in a row. This is going to end up to be our second driest May on record here in Grand Rapids. Our data goes way back to 1892. The only other year that was drier than this was the Dust Bowl years. We had 72 hundredths of an inch. Very little that we will see rain coming up before the early part of June. We're running a deficit not only here in Grand Rapids by a couple of inches for the month, but even up north and into the UP, there's been a little bit of a surplus because some of this has been in the form of some snow. Now for the season, which began back on March 1st, we're a little bit above average, but I think we're going to end up below average. A lot of the readings here in southern lower Michigan have had more rain, and also up in the UP. Again, a lot of this has been that persistent snow. As of late, right now, we have had a lot of smoke in the air, wildfire smoke from way up in Canada. That is in the Alberta and Manitoba provinces, and with a north or a southeast flow, we've had that come overhead for the last several days. Now, we're going to see a backdoor cold front. We call it backdoor because it doesn't usually come in from the west or the front door. It's coming in from the northeast. That's going to keep the haze around until Wednesday morning, but that's going to clear us out until late in the weekend. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week, we'll see a little bit of that haze return, but with that cold front coming through, there's very little, if any, chance of rain over the next several days. As far as our Lake Michigan forecast, waves may build up to a foot northern part of our viewing area along the lakeshore. Otherwise, a beautiful day out on Lake Michigan here tomorrow. Hazy sunshine, mid 70s north, upper 70s Muskegon, Holland southward. Northern part of our viewing area up around 80 with that hazy sunshine. And from Grand Rapids southward, will be warmer than today by about 4 degrees up into the low 80s. 13 on your side forecast. Very little, if any, chance of rain for the next 10 to 15 days. We'll see the haze return along with mostly cloudy skies on Saturday after being in the 60s Wednesday and Thursday. And then we'll climb into the 80s starting on Sunday, and that will last all the way through at least Thursday of next week. At least the good news is there is very little oppressive humidity coming in our direction with those warm temperatures. So just warm and dry.
Yay.
Beautiful. Thank you, George.